Hello, everybody. This is our Punky over here, and with another Thoughts and Concern podcast. So today, I'm going to be talking about the Microsoft 5 new studios. Most of them are new, but some of them they were with Microsoft. But for now, we can see it's permanent. So the first one we see here is the Initiative. This is entirely new Santa Monica, California-based studio. It is being headed up by Daryl Gallagher, former studio head at Crystal Dynamics of Tomb Raider fame. His charter at the Initiative is to assemble world-class talent to create groundbreaking new game experience. Okay, that's good right there. I mean, at least they have their roles as what's upcoming to this console. Undead Labs, the Seattle-based team behind the State of Decay and the second game, both Xbox and PC exclusive, is officially joining the Microsoft fold. Undead Labs is headed up by Jeff Strain, who cut his teeth at Blizzard and ArenaNet before striking out on his own. Well, that's a really interesting detail right there. Playground Games, the UK-based team behind the Xbox PC exclusive Forza Horizon series, is similarly making its Microsoft relationship permanent. Spencer noted that the studio has been limited to Forza Horizon games. No shit, Sherlock. But it will now bring its open world experience to an entirely new project. I'll get into that later. Ninja Theory. Spencer first worked with Ninja Theory for Kung Fu Chaos back in the early Xbox days, of course, and now the story developer behind Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice, one of my favorite indie games from last year, 2017, as well as DMC, Devil May Cry, Enslaved Odyssey to the West, and the PlayStation 3 exclusive Heavenly Sword, is a Microsoft first-party developer. That is really good. That is a really good detail right there, because I think that was actually a PlayStation 3 exclusive when the PlayStation 3 actually started. I think it was 2006 or 7, which the Heavenly Sword was one of the first exclusive games for the PlayStation 3. Compulsion Games, the Canadian developer behind the upcoming We Happy Few, joins Microsoft just in advance of the game's August release. That title is being published by Gearbox for both Xbox One, Windows, and PlayStation 4. It's unclear if Microsoft's acquisition will change those plans. Okay, so alright, Microsoft. So you have these new studios. So my thoughts are that this is a great idea. Most of these studios have already been made, but taking them to your own things and to your own console and your own company, this is a great idea. I think that Phil Spencer is doing things right for now. Because I mean, these are really good, talented, like all these are talented developers right here, and most of them are not from the United States. They're Canadian, they're from the United Kingdom, except for the other three, in which I'm really excited for this decision that Phil Spencer is making finally for the Xbox brand. So, um, let's start with the initiative. So, Daryl Gallagher, former studio head at Crystal Dynamics of Tomb Raider fame. So, we might get a really cool exclusive here because what I read of at the end of this one, it says world-class talent to create groundbreaking new game experiences. So, um, it's a great idea. I mean, uh, not all games needs to be open world, but variety is very important for the gamers and your consoles and for the experience overall. So, Undead Labs, we all know that State of Decay didn't do well this year, but there's people actually enjoying it, which is respectful. But maybe I'll leave my concerns. Yeah, because I do have concerns with this one, and I think another one down there. Playground Games, the UK, of course. The Horizon, Forza Horizon, which I'm not a huge fan of racing games, but I do play racing games. If you could tell, a lot of my old games have racing games, such as Need for Speed, and I think it's just Need for Speed, Hot Pursuit, and Most Wanted. Yeah. So for this studio, I think it's for its role, open world experience to an entirely new project. I hope it gets out of the Forza Horizon. I mean, my concerns, yes. I already said my thoughts, but before I get to my concerns, Ninja Theory, of course, Compulsion Games, with the it's unclear Microsoft's acquisition will change those plans. Compulsory Games is still in that if they're going to be in or they're just going to be just multiplats as what they are right now. So my concerns, oh god, there's a lot because overall we've seen Microsoft flip-flopping with the Xbox One this entire generation, such as the 8th generation. We're not going to talk about the 360. We're not going to talk about the original Xbox. We're going to specifically talk about the Xbox One X, S, and X. Xbox One, all three, yes. So these new five, not new, but actually it's something that Microsoft is gaining studios for them to have more exclusives, which they have been lacking through all this generation, in which we all know that. I don't have to repeat it. I hope that Phil Spencer does not do the same mistake as he's done with other companies, such as I think it was Platinum Games, about Scalebound. I mean, maybe their ideas were different. Maybe there's a lot of excuses out there in which I really do not buy. Maybe they're true, maybe they're not. It all depends on what we actually think about the situation back then. But all that I've been seeing through all these years, that Phil Spencer actually likes the same old freaking games. So at least he's actually opening up with new stuff, and I hope those new stuff, in which is described here, and right here. Experience to an entirely new project. So I hope it's not another racing game. I'm going to talk about the playground games at the UK. Forza Horizon is a really successful series. Yes, I know. Same was with this Guerrilla Games with Killzone series. Yes, it was successful in a way because the last one didn't do so well, but it actually had their fans. But my concern is right now is that I hope, not hope, my concern is right now is that if it's gonna be a new game or not. I'm just smelling this from a mile away. I don't know about you guys, but I hope it's something new, because if it's like another racing game, because racing game could be entirely open world, as what it says over here. Open world, like Need for Speed was open world. Even the old Need for Speed were open world, like the Hot Pursuit and the Most Wanted ones were open world. In their own way, because of course it's a racing game and you just race and not going wherever you want, because it's a straightforward tracks, lanes, or whatever you want to call it. But I at one time on Need for Speed I spent like at least 20 minutes just racing. I think it was on it wasn't Hot Pursuit, it was the Most Wanted. So even though last gen, the 7th gen, actually had open world racing games, so it says here open world expertise to an entirely new project. So this new project, let's say that it could be, let's just imagine here, it could be a new shooter, it could be a new sword play, it could be a new anything that it's involved in a character, that is involved in with a weapon, involved with what's it around, or robots, or whatever the case may be. I cannot get my my speculation is high up, because it's not what it's written here. You know, at least they're opening up with new stuff. All right, don't get me wrong. Phil Spencer is doing things right, but the wrong thing that Phil Spencer is been doing wrong, and these kind of practices I've been seeing it even today, is that they're limiting their studios, you know, by making their games, you know, that are not even their games. It's just like, yeah, I can do this, but you know, you could change this and that, and I like this, or our audience want this or that, and they just make these changes. And I have a really good example. That would be Crackdown 3. Now, why is Crackdown 3 getting delayed so much? Because I don't think it will be like the graphics, or I mean, I like, you know, those kind of sprites, you know, those shaded graphics. Not sprites, just shaded, cell shaded graphics. That's the correct word. So I won't say it's my opinion, because there's a lot of people been saying this about, you know, why is it getting delayed? Because you guys announced it like 4 years ago from now, like, and it still hasn't come out. And my concerns are, is it actually the multiplayer aspect, the story? What is it? Because all I can see is that Phil Spencer or whoever is actually changing ideas or evolving as a developer is actually delaying these kinds of games. And I'm not saying that delaying the game is bad, because it could come out good, but that doesn't mean anything. I mean, so it could go for the good, it could go for the bad. Just for example, on Sony's side, Sony lets their own developers do their own thing. Now, for example, we can take the Naughty Dog's The Last of Us 2. You got me there. The Last of Us 2. So, yes, it's controversial. Yes, it's really gory. It has some thematics that are close to our society, in which even other people may see it as not cool for our community. But Sony just like, we don't care, this is for adults. So Phil Spencer, if you actually note this problem, I don't care if Gears of War or any other new IP that you're going to, throw it at the air for the Xbox brand. I don't care how gory or controversial it is. Release the game. Or how shitty it is, you need games. You need good ones. I know some ideas of the developers may change, and it's not easy to make a video game. Those things are there. I mean, it happens on filming, it happens in productions of music, wherever, compositions, everything whether you make something, there's always conflict with yourself and with the people that you're working with. My concern, there's a lot of concerns that I have, and it is not just Phil Spencer, it's the Xbox community. This right here is something that Sony and Nintendo have, because right now Sony and Nintendo having really cool IPs, AAA games that bring their fans and their community to buy this thing through, whether it is digital or physical, to buy their own product. Now for Microsoft, I can say that they're breaking games, but not big ones. Now, yes, there's Halo, yes, there's Forza, and yes, there's Gears. But look at here. Even though the Forza Horizon developers are taking another route, whatever you say it, you cannot get this franchise fatigue, such as Halo. Halo is already fatigue. It's a franchise fatigue, which is completely, people are getting tired of Halo. Please give it a break, make another thing, and then come back to the franchise. Same with Gears. Gears has also franchise fatigue. This is the 5th one already. These studios need to make other stuff. They need to be talented. They can't be just stuck in one thing. And I know Xbox fans just want the same old thing which is Halo, Gears, and Forza, and they just like, oh yeah, I'm okay with that. But what about new stuff, guys? What about new stuff? You know, I mean, I cannot say that Nintendo does the same things, because overall we've been getting Zelda for all the generations. We've been getting Smash for all these generations. We've been getting Kirby. We've been getting Donkey Kong. But at least their Nintendo has always been creative in that aspect. It's not giving us the same thing. That's another thing. You can make the same franchise, reboot it, or make a sequel out of it, but the gameplay, the visuals, everything in the game needs to be different from previous game. I'm not saying that Gears have to be with cartoony graphics, with I don't know, it needs to have swords in it, or instead of the chainsaw, put a lightsaber in it, or not like that. I'm just saying that those same studios can make something just like Gears of War, but in another type of story. They could change the story. They could change. They have to be creative, and I'm scared that these companies suffer for the same things. And it's unclear right here. You know, it's something that, yes, Microsoft is actually pulling this off, because they're lacking of exclusives. They're lacking for new IPs, new stuff. We cannot get Halo, Gears, and Forza all the time. Imagine if Sony would have been getting still an Uncharted franchise. What was this other franchise from a PlayStation 2 franchise, Jak and Daxter every year, or freaking Ratchet and Clank from the PlayStation 2 era. What other franchises are there? Another freaking Killzone. I could not stand another freaking Killzone, and I didn't buy Shadowfall. Being honest, I'm a Sony fan, but no, they needed to do another stuff, and they quite did with Horizon Zero Dawn. And that's a really good example right there, because with these companies getting out of their routine, getting out of their daily basis, they can recreate or make something new from what they know. So right here, We Happy Few, I really got confused because I thought this game was out like years ago, and it's actually coming on in this August, which is really confusing. I'm not really into that game, but it seems kind of, it's something that we not used to play. So if the Xbox fans really want to, the Xbox and Microsoft grow up as a really good console or gaming company, they need this. They need variety, they need talent, they need games. And that's where you get started with a really good competition. So those are my thoughts and concerns. I know there's more, maybe I'm forgetting, but yeah, there's more thoughts, good thoughts, but there's more concerns, because there's a time that you stop acting like you like this company. There's a time that you actually stop believing in this company because they just don't bring you new stuff. They just don't bring you, the good stuff with the good games. I mean, make as whether it is multiplayer or single player, just make them good. And I hope that Phil Spencer don't limit these companies, because as the first that you put a limit to these companies, it's over. Let them do what they want to do, with rules, of course, but give them the liberty to develop a really good game. Alright, people, these are my thoughts and concerns. And if you like this video, please drop me a like. Please favorite, comment, and subscribe. And thank you for supporting the channel. This has been Zyrapunky, and I'll see you guys later.